Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that's us.
In all
Sadly.
our shining glory.
Yeah, I know. Can't be helped. It's just another. What is it? Friday. 'Tis like Friday.
Could be.
Yeah, I think so. No.
That's a good article in the paper.
Did we read it?
I didn't read it to everybody, but it was a good article.
Oh, did you read it yesterday?
No, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
can't find it now.
Maybe we've lost it.
It's all gone.
There's nothing unusual about that. That's fine. We're
No, I wrote it as if the dog was writing it. That was very good.
Could it have been the horse?
Huh?
Could it have been the horse?
Do I mean the horse?
Yeah.
That could be the horse.
Yeah.
The black one.
Yeah, the flower.
The flower?
Flower.
Flower.
Janine says she doesn't like the name Flower, so she's to be Lily Flower. So Janine, we can call her Flower, and Janine will call her Lily. But that's kind of like what we've got going on with the other horse. You know the one she calls Sunshine? Sunshine?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone else calls her Brandy.
Oh, geez.
And it makes it really super fun when we have vet visits, because if Janine arranges the vet visit, it's for Sunshine. When I arrange it, it's for Brandy. And when Dr. Parrott gets there, it's for which horse am I looking at now? We at one point, in fact, this is Sunshine 3.0, because we have Sunshine 1.0, Sunshine 2.0, because she keeps calling every blinking horse Sunshine. It is terribly confusing. Terribly confusing. Apart from Janine, because she knows which Sunshine she's talking about. I can't even remember the first Sunshine. No, I can't. No.
That's a nice little puppy.
She's a lovely little puppy. She's a pretty girl. We had a lovely lady who came to volunteer today.
Oh?
Called Lynn. And she saw her through the fence. And Larky and Sizzle. And she said, oh, she's lovely. I said, she is. She's a big girl now. She's out playing on the pond. She is a big girl. And then we get to check her.
Learn to run and lie down when Sizzle comes along.
Yes, she's learning her manners from her not mummy, which is good. Because we need manners. Because manners are helpful. Manners are helpful, darling. And don't be nibbling. Nope. She's like, can I have that bag you've got? And that will be a hard no. So, look, do you want the utilities department?
Yeah, all of it. You know,
Okay.
we'll just take it and see what happens here.
Stabby thing?
Stabby thing.
Definitely.
Okay.
Oh, and it's Friday. All day. Uh-oh.
What?
Nicholas is chatting. What's he doing now? Where is he?
Well, I was told to make 20 of these things.
You're going to need them for tomorrow.
Yellow.
Oh, yeah.
How many you got?
20.
You got 20 people coming?
Well, it keeps going up in number.
Well, I'm up to about 27 now.
Should be useful.
And the minute it hits the floor, I'll buy it. See,
Okay,
it's not
thank you.
quite, I got a few more to make before it hits the floor.
Okay, that's
And when it
perfect.
hits the floor, then I'll dye them yellow.
And your things all charged for your zooming around.
Would you check that when you go back out
Yeah.
to make sure that it's in?
Yeah, because we don't want you
Both.
sort of failing.
I know. Would you make sure it's put in under the seat?
Yes.
Because Judy may figure if you just put that in, you don't know.
Right, okay, that's fine. This is not a problem.
And that goes in there, and you can have the
Oh,
Sharpie.
thank you. Is that electricity?
Huh?
Is that the electricity?
I don't know what it's for because I haven't any glasses.
Neither have I. Ugh.
Please tell me.
Ta-da.
What is this?
I don't know.
Free summer meals for all kids. and
You're not a
teens,
kid or a teen.
18 and under.
That's,
No
that's
application,
us.
no registration.
Oh, it's because everybody's out of school. That's why.
Yeah. sold meals from Triton Food Services.
Yes, but you have to be under 18.
I can read it though. Isn't that fun though?
Yes.
Huh. Isn't that interesting? Breakfast and lunch provided daily. Triton Food Service.
Thank you.
I'm going to put that up somewhere. Uh-oh, here's water.
Oh.
There's something about the water.
Don't be touching those. We're busy with them.
Here's another poster. Summer strategies for saving water.
Consider letting your grass grow. Not much,
That's all right. We can
chance
do
of that around here.
Home care is responsible for so much of the seasonal stress of water supply. Huh. The summer rate is 25 per 100 cubic feet.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial rate and the wastewater, huh? Wow. Well, that's interesting. Well, there's another thing for you to put up.
Oh, thank you.
Do we use a lot of water? They've turned the disc. They used to have this backwards.
I know.
Now they have current up here and current right up there. And we have fewer animals than we've ever had.
Yeah, we've actually got a teeny amount at the moment.
Huh?
A teeny tiny amount at the
I
moment.
know, and look at that. We haven't reduced the water supply. For $1,200 for water. That fortunately is all Everstone project. They are the big user. And we can't separate it.
No.
Here's the envelope that goes with that.
Oh, nice. Okay, Honeywell generators. Not that you're interested in those.
Yes, I am. Why should I be?
Because you're going to get the one down there back.
What? The generator?
Is that not the generators, the big generators
Yeah.
that kick in everywhere apart from here?
Everybody, yeah, everybody's fun here.
Everywhere
What
but
do you mean
here.
I'm getting them back?
Well, we're getting them back. Well, in December, that will come back under the farm.
Oh, okay.
Hello, 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 hello.
No, what I was interested in was...
Oh, no! No, no.
Don't take your hand out of the way. I know there's a lot to say.
Yes.
But if she bites, just slap her and leave your hand there. Otherwise, you're in... Don't bite my hand. See, that's very pretty. No biting. No biting. We don't do teeth. You know? If you're sitting here eating your dinner, you don't want to get into this business.
Yeah.
Because you can't raise it high enough for a Great Dane.
No, you can't. I know
No.
you can't.
Right, so you sit here with it and you tell them not to touch it. You want to change their behavior. So let her bite you. Ha ha.
Oh, thank you. I know I'm getting the short end of the stick.
I did the same thing. Confirmation of a standby generator. I do recognize we need a generator on this building.
Yes.
Because if we don't have it, this thing goes out and the smoke comes in.
Yes.
And they'll sell us one for $535. You know. Well, we'll put that on hold because it's not right up there, but something to consider.
Thank you. And here's Jan Gerhold.
Oh, good.
She's lovely.
Mail the 10th.
10. What we're in at the moment? The 14th. Well, that was quick. Wow.
Mail the 10th. There you go.
Thank you very much,
We're
Jan.
going to ask Jan maybe to write down in the middle of the pulpit.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Each day, there are 500,000 tweets about the weather.
I can believe that.
Yeah. We're likely to eat an average of 36% more calories than normal when you eat at the movie theater. Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't even go to the movie theatre and I'm still eating excess, but hey, I can believe that too.
A survey found that 18% of drivers use the cup holders in the car for trash.
Who would do that?
No, I have scissors on mine. What have I got in mine?
Scissors.
No, Milkies. What are those things? Twizzles.
Yes. Just about anything. They're
Mango.
Smoothies.
Smoothies.
I mean, it stops things rolling about all over the place. Yes. Honestly. Thank you. Those were good.
What
now, look at this.
What are we doing here?
Amazoni doodle.
No party. Who sent us this? Do we know?
I don't know. Does it say? No.
Does it say?
Doesn't say. This one doesn't say either. It feels like one too. Maybe someone will let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, we're working up to it.
Oh, there we go. Nice big metal sign.
We are working
and it's
up
going to be
to it.
back to front again this way, I'm sorry. There's another one, I think.
Okay. I wonder. Let's go this way. Oh, I can't do that.
What?
I can't do that one.
I think that's scissors.
There we go. That's much easier.
Okay.
Lighter than something else. Same thing.
Now, is there a label in it from who sent it?
No, you gotta hold that one.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, there isn't.
Okay. So, let's think. Have you done anything today apart from order food in? Yes, you did.
I went. Where did I went? I went to the doctor's.
You did.
He bored a hole in my head.
You did.
He wants to see what there is in there. I don't know.
They sent you home.
He sent me home. What the heck? No, I had a long time ago, I had an itchy eyebrow, and it bothered, itchy. Finally, I went to see the skin doctor or whatever. But damn, there was a melanoma. And while I was there, for some unknown reason, I said, you know, that freckle right here on this knee, it looks strange. I don't know why I said that, but it looked a little odd. He said, well, let's cut that off, too. They were both melanomas.
Were they?
The probability of having two melanomas the same day in the same condition is extremely rare.
Oh, aren't you special?
So aren't I special? So now we've got to see whether this one is going to here.
And it looks so awful because they've actually put target marks on her forehead.
Yes.
So she's got 4 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not bruising. There is a great big gash in the middle. And earlier today we did have a Band-Aid on it.
I did have
It was a very big Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So that's where you and Judy went this morning.
That's true.
Yes.
And what did we do for food? I stopped and got a McDonald's. But that wrap that they have for breakfast, that's a pretty good bit for your money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's what I had for breakfast.
Well, I had a trauma this morning.
What happened?
I didn't realise I hadn't had coffee until it got to about 11:30.
Oh dear.
Gosh.
Oh dear.
That was traumatic.
Who did you have to talk to in the morning?
Everybody. I was like, seriously, the service in this house is useless. So
did your husband ever get out of the elevator?
Yes, it only took about 4 or 5 hours. And do you know what they did? So they said, so it was in a conference centre. So it was, big high-rise building, and he was quite close to the ground. So they sent the hotel or the venue's technician, and they worked on it for a bit, and then they gave up. They said, there's nothing we can do. So they called in the fire department. In the fire department, the next safe access point for them was the 29th floor. So I think he'd been down close to the lobby. And so they winched him up 4 foot at a time, manually. So what was it he said it was like being on? Something that starts and stops and starts and stops. There was something he described it as, and I can't remember. So, and the worst thing was, he was in it by himself. There was nobody else there, so he had nobody to talk to. So every now and again he'd get a phone call. This is quite boring. I've got nothing to do. It's like 5 hours. I would have been going stir crazy as well.
Good
Lord. So he missed his flight, obviously. By a few hours.
Yeah.
So he had to stay there again last night, and but he had a work deadline for midday today.
Oh.
So he had to stay there, and then this morning he just worked to get the deadline done, and he's apparently boarded a plane somewhere. So
he's home now?
No.
Is he home yet?
Don't be silly. He's in the air somewhere.
Oh.
And then I was sitting thinking, crikey, we've got thunderstorms. You know how the planes don't like.
That's right.
You can sit on the tarmac for a while when there's thunderstorms. So I don't know where he is, but he's somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So.
Hey, what do you? Oh, I've allowed her to carry those around.
All right. Okay. So I'm hoping he's coming home because we've got a busy day tomorrow. Seriously.
You've got a lot of things for him to do.
Yeah. Well, yes. That's probably what. I was so out of sync this morning. That's probably why I didn't get my coffee till 11:30. So anyway, so it'll be lovely to have him home.
I don't think you really looked over the boxes out there, did you?
All those boxes. Yes, there's people coming to fit that stuff tomorrow.
They're supposed to be my shoes.
No, your shoes. Right, that's really odd. Your shoes are missing, and I've got a delivery for plant pots.
For who?
Plant pots.
Plant pots?
To put the plants in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're obviously hanging out, and they told me they were delivered.
Huh.
And they're not in the new mail hut.
Huh.
So we will go on an adventure and find them at some point. It's
I don't know whether that new mail hut's going to work, though.
I'm hoping it'll work the same way as the other one.
No, this one we keep our eyes on it.
Yeah.
That one we can't.
No, but and I think it looks like I was speaking with Leslie last night and this morning, and I think there's quite a number of people coming. So I did ask Shep about the safety issue, and he said we should shut the gate because there's going to be a lot of moving about, and when these people they get in, they get the job done, and they go. I think they sound fantastic.
What are they going to do?
The ponds.
You're going to put the pond together?
Yeah. And there's the...
that boat leaks, you know.
I'm not going in the boat.
I think the pond's only about 4 feet deep.
Oh, well, that's all right. That's fine. And there's... I've got to get this all organised. The ponds. There's we'd like to get the stone wall just back up. I asked about that.
Yeah.
We've got other bits. There's a lot to be done. We want to stain down in the tea tent, which isn't a structural problem, I might add. It's just stain going on the wood. want to get it stained, and because Janine's buying more wood so that we can get the bit that is in pieces up round the top so it looks smart. Not intelligent, but pretty.
All right.
So there's a lot of jobs to be done, and then there's somebody coming who had a grounds maintenance company. So they're going to. Do you know what I would love to do? You know, we've got that spare stone dust. I would love to get all the soil that's in the little stretch that joins, you know, the pond and the A field. If we could get all the mud out of the way and just put the stone dust down there, it will give you a track that you might not be doing wheelies in your...
Right, no, we can do that.
That would be good, wouldn't it? And a good use of the stone dust.
Of that some of the rocks, I wouldn't use it.
No, the stone dust.
The stone dust is good.
We've still got some in the trailer. So we'll come and we'll get...
We don't have enough.
Not enough?
For that, you need a shitload. You need at least a small trailer full, a small truck full.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll get it cleared anyway, okay?
Because then you want to have a stone dust all around A.
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be really nice.
Yeah. So I think that they can at least get it cleared, and all the foliage is hanging over. And
I know, you've got to just cut it back.
Yeah. So.
And the forest will grow in on you if you're not careful.
Yes. So they're going to go and do that, which is absolutely fantastic and much appreciated. So here we go. Joe, I'm hoping my Nick is in an aeroplane somewhere. Mm-hmm. And again, one never can tell because he has a habit of getting stuck places.
29 floors.
Yes, I know.
Wow.
I
bet it wasn't too clean either.
It was beautiful, he said. It was walnut lined, but after being there for 5 hours, he said he thinks it was a veneer and not real walnut. I was like, okay, somebody's got far too much time in their hands. Oh dear. Janine is just fine, because Janine is what's called resilient. And in fact, she's doing something with a screwdriver.
What?
Janine's doing something with a screwdriver.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Whatever.
So, boom, 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 boom. Oh, my goodness.
This is what she does, old Betty.
I know. I'll get one of those ill thumbs that don't work. Yeah, he was quite calm in the elevator. Yeah, then he got to spend another night in Atlanta. I don't think he was expecting that.
Why couldn't they just open the doors the next flight? I mean,
I don't know.
Step in on the top of the,
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I think Janine's decision to step down from ERN is not probably something that I should talk about, because I have my own opinions on it, and I'm not Janine, strangely enough. And I think that will be hers to discuss. But I think the one thing that we know about both Equine Rescue Network and Goldy's Farm is that we have backup plans on our backup plans. It's something that's really important when you're dealing with animals.
Well, I have an opinion here.
Is it allowed?
I don't know. Many times in my life I have found something I wanted to do or felt needed doing or something like that, and I could do it and accomplish it and whatever. But if it became part of a larger organization, it got lost in committee.
Yeah.
Then they start telling you how to do it and why to do it and where to do it and who's going to do it and why you should and shouldn't, this, that, and the other. If you just go ahead and do some of these things, you come out, the problem is solved. Case in point. I was doing some bookkeeping for a veterinarian, and I had to drive by this house that had a pony tied to a tree with no water at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I went to go home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He was still there with no water. And he was pretty damn skinny and no hay and nothing. It looked awful. So I went up and offered him $25 for the pony and took him home.
But had you
solved the problem.
Had
I called the SPCA, they'd have made it,
Yeah.
They probably would still be standing there with no water.
Yeah.
So I put him in my front yard in Linfield, and the SPCA then showed up. Why was this pony in such bad shape? And I had to explain that he was part of a 4-H project on how you put a pony back together.
Again, yeah. Well, that's the same problem we have with when we use the quarantine field in Meredith. I had somebody give me into trouble for this poor state of my animals, and I'm like, yes, I quite agree with you. I said they came out of a slaughter pipeline, and I said, and we're actually, in the middle of, they're going through vet care, they're going through, a program of rehabilitation, and so yes, that's what we're doing. Thank you. And if you could stop throwing lettuce leaves into my water trough, I'd greatly appreciate it. I had somebody for nearly 6 weeks would come along at some point in the day, and they would take a head of lettuce, iceberg, naturally, and they would take the leaves off and they would put it in my water trough. You know what happens to lettuce when you put it goes slimy.
Yeah.
So you have to tip it all out again because it goes slimy and automatically then starts. It was disgusting, and I couldn't catch that blinking person who kept putting lettuce friggin' leaves in my water trough. And the quarantine field across the road does not have a water supply, so you have to lug the water over there. And you know what it's like. You tip the water out and the slime sticks to the trough. So then you've got to get a brush out, use some of your precious water, clean it, and then refill it, put it all to over again. It's a stunt.
You move the trough?
Yes, we put it into the
middle of the pit.
We actually put it into the run-in shed, and then what we got was, the horses have no water. It's in the run-in shed. How do we know? And I'm like, because the horses are not dehydrated, but hey ho. And if you could stop putting lettuce in, it would be fine. So yeah, you sometimes go water troughs are quite something. Sometimes you've got, it's like bobbing for apples, right? Ducking for apples. You've got an apple floating in it. Other days, there's obviously been somebody's come with horse treats. The horse treats are in it and disintegrated. Sometimes you get a dead chipmunk or a dead mouse. You never know what you're going to find in a water trough.
That certainly is true.
And then you get the horses whose feet go in, plump, 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 plump. It's filthy. Half the water's out, and you're like, oh, I give up.
When you got to carry it over there, it's a whole new ball.
Yeah. It's quite something. But you know what? You just get on and do it. ERN is going to continue. ERN is not closing down. I think what people forget is that Janine started ERN about 15 years ago. And
was she the one that started it?
Yeah. ERN is her organisation. Yeah. And what it is it's a network. So the network is comprised of other 501c3s. They have to be existing and approved 501c3s. And the fundraising that Janine does for when we're going to auction, we purchase horses, not just for Equine Rescue Network Meredith, but for Equine Rescue Standard Bred Rescue, the Saddlebred people, all the other rescues that. And if you look on the website, there's a lot of 501c3s that benefit. Equine Rescue also used to help with the building of shelters. We help with euthanasia. We help with people to transport. There's an animal, it's in Texas. Can you help us with the transport fees? So that fundraising, which was constant, didn't actually stay with the parent site. It didn't stay with Equine Rescue, and we were based in Meredith. It didn't stay with us. It came in and it was allocated on a needs must to help. We also provided free quarantine on Meredith because we were in the very fortunate position of having an accommodation that ticks all the boxes for quarantine rules. We've been through equine biosecurity courses and qualifications, to enable us to bring in, because you need it now for, you know, to be compliant. So we have those in place, and it allows us to provide quarantine for a minimum of 30 days for other rescues. That's actually, it doesn't sound a lot, it's a tremendous amount of work, because you have to change your clothes. If you've got a snotty horse, you have to shower, because horses like to snot in your hair, don't they? It's just, it's sod's law. You're always going somewhere to see another animal, and they get you. And then you're like, oh, fabulous. You know, you can wear a boiler suit, and then it goes up your arm. You know, you
can't stay away.
You can't stay away from it, and it's one of those things. And so for the minimum of 30 days, you just have to be so vigilant. It got to the stage that I would deal with the horses in the quarantine area, and someone else was dealing with the horses. Because we've got vulnerable animals. We've got Miss Momo, we've got a blind pony, we've got animals that, you know, we just like to keep everything separate. And it worked really very well. It saves another rescue about 1,500 minimum if we provide that service for them. And that does not include when we get the really ill horses and we have to have the vet out. We're having to administer, you know, injections. We're having to, you know, maintain a vet program for them as well. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort. But the feeling has always been that what it enables another rescue to do who doesn't have the space to quarantine, they can take from the slaughter pipeline, bring the horses into us, and then they transport them away from us. We've had horses that have stayed for far longer than the 30 days because there's been medical issues that we've had to tackle. It's actually, there's far more to Equine Rescue Network than I think people have actually realised. It's not a let's trot off down to the auction and look, people have donated money and that one looks lovely and that one looks lovely. We don't take the lovely animals. We take the ones that have got so much desperate need, and then we rehabilitate, because that's what the mission has always been. So it's exhausting, and you know, Janine was talking about, you know, Clark. And people don't seem to realise, and I think it's because people don't deal with animals. Clark was a feral donkey. Clark came into us, we've worked with him. He's an absolute sweetheart. Mr. Light is in season. Mr. Clark doesn't realise he's a gelding quite yet. And Mr. Clark, who was halfway up the driveway with Mr. Light down in the barn, he bolted. And when a donkey bolts, they don't stop for cars, they don't stop for people, they don't stop. They don't stop.
And they only need to get a quarter of an inch ahead of you.
Oh,
and
yes.
You're dead.
And the reason
and they know it.
The reason it's actually a short distance. Donkeys are stronger than horses, believe it or not. And it's just what it is. They're designed, their centre of gravity, they are strong. And if they go and you get them just that little bit in front of you.
Oh, it's not that much. It really is.
Yeah.
So, that Mary, wonderful Mary, I had her in nursing homes and all sorts of things. But every once in a while, just to prove she could do it, she'd get a quarter of an inch ahead of me, and she would bolt. And I couldn't begin to hold her.
No. And that's why you have to be ahead of the game with donkeys all the time. So when a donkey, you know, thinks, I'm going back to my gorgeous lady who I've left down in the barn, and you're the person standing in between the projectile donkey, you've got a problem. And you know, the donkey hit her in the chest, it winded her, she was on the ground, she didn't even have her glasses on, and she held on to the blinking lead rope, and that's the most important thing.
She never let go.
No, she didn't, because you know what happens when you let go?
I know.
They've gone. So, you know, to be getting kicked in the backside for doing something that, you know, for all intents and purposes, and legal purposes, you know, when you go through the state police, etc., is the right course of action, it's just a bit much. But I think also you have to remember that
she has no weight on her.
No, she hasn't got any heft.
No, she is born skinny.
Yeah, and I think she's been doing this for 15 years. We go to auction, and you know what? We get all these phenomenal animals. Just wait till you have to load the blinkers onto a trailer. You know, the auction is long finished. Everybody has left, and there's times when we're still going, well, we circle them again and see if we can get them to go on. And you're like, yes, let's. And then there's been times when we've picked up donkeys that we've had to find 2 other people and we've had to lift them by the legs to get them on because they're in such poor condition. It's a strenuous job. It's a job that's 24 hours a day. It's a volunteer job. You know, this isn't done for money. It's
you don't get money out of it.
no, you
That's
don't.
for sure.
But you do
The
it.
other thing, she was published in either the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal for her study on the carriage horses in New York.
Yes, but she's also done studies into the treatment of animals in these holding pens. She's done so much research work to further the conditions of these animals that are transported, and it's horrific. But I think, and she will maintain that work. She will maintain campaigning on behalf of these animals. But the physicality of the job it's a lot, and it doesn't stop. And you know, you're dealing with feral animals. They bite, they kick, they can do terrible things to you. And she's old. No, she's not. You know, it's constant. And Clark came in as a herd of 5.
What?
So there was 5 of them all came in at the same time.
Oh.
And we took the ones, and the reason Clark came in as a group of 5 was because they were all Jacques. Okay. And Jacques
are not nice. They bite and they hold on.
No, but they're also the ones that go on their little trip, and then they go on the FedEx plane, and then they go to Japan, and then they're in a mess. So that's why we use this, and that's why it's been such a passion for ERN to continue this program. This program is, you know, it's stopping, it's changing, it's been passed on to someone else, and it's someone else that Janine has worked with for a long period of time, and that's important. So, give me 1 second.
Oh,
That's not my dogs. You know what? You know, this place is really funny. You hear barking, and you don't know if it's coming from across there or down there. There's a funny echo.
I can't hear either one.
Oh, you're fine.
There you are. So
that's really the situation we're in, and it's overwhelming. It
hurt.
Well, and I think, like you, let's face it, this has been her organisation, her mission, her goal. She
put it together,
and she's done a phenomenal job. And there's a lot of very happy people who have animals that she's rehabilitated and taken to them. There's a lot of very fortunate animals. And she went and bought another blinking mini mule. But hey,
really?
So I think you know, it's not the end. It will be a change of direction. Can you imagine Janine sitting in an elevator by herself with diminishing phone power for 5 hours?
Well, she had the horse in the elevator the other day.
Yes.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, but not for 5 hours. Can you imagine? She'd have been climbing the walls, thinking, "I want to go and do this. I want to go and do that."
Know, my experience with the whole internet problem was, you know, I'm old. Even 3 or 4 years ago, I was still pretty old. And I was dealing with Larky as a pup. And the potential between Larky getting into a fight with one of his brothers was large, and I wanted to juggle the dogs around. I didn't have much time to think too much about it, and I had no equipment. So I used my foot and my hand. They said I kicked him and I pulled him around by the ear. Not true. I was stuffing it in the corner with, I don't know what I was doing with my foot, but I certainly wasn't kicking the dog, not in a punishment sort of deal. And I felt terrible that I was accused of this. And I have to hand it to Charlie. Charlie called me on the phone, and he said, "Look," he says, "you must be doing something right, or they wouldn't be picking on you."
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. And this was Charlie Annenberg.
But
he felt badly.
But that's the problem with it. And I think what happens with people when they're online is they get a bit overconfident and a bit of an armchair expert, and then they start making comments about things that they don't really know about. and then they get...
it becomes personal. They get right at you.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the bit that's so silly.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't do the animals any good.
No.
That's what I think. I had the SPCA and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the guy from the U.S. Agriculture came in and he said, "You watch the animals around her. They're not afraid of her.
No.
So she has to be okay." And he was right.
Yeah. It's you know, I think part of the problem you experience is that there's always someone that can do it so much better than you. They're just not available to come and show you how to do it, and everybody gets a bit mouthy and it gets a bit messy, and it's a bit of a shame really, actually, but hey ho, it's the way it goes. But we're continuing. I'm going to come out of ERN as well.
Well, I think you got a better deal going with this Goldy's farm, because I think you can help a lot more animals and people.
Yeah.
In that frame of reference than trying to tie yourself to a huge agency.
Yeah, well,
it's just going to absorb the money and go.
Well, I actually think the other difference with Goldy's is the way we've set Goldy's up is it's a single entity.
Yes.
You know, everything comes into us and stays with us. It doesn't go to rescue for some other people. And what we do is we bring it in and then we put it out accordingly. It goes to nursing homes because, you know, the gas that's used to transport the dogs, that's where it goes. It maintains the dogs. It maintains the horses. The trailer registration. It focuses on us. You can see where it's going and how it's getting
We're not having things you go to for $5,000. What do they call them? Conferences. We're not going to hold conferences.
No, you might get stuck in the elevator. Wait, well, can I just say something to you? Who here has time to go to a conference?
Yeah, I know it.
No. And Nick said to me, the children are going away for a few days. Nick said, we could go away. And I'm like, how many animals are we taking with us? And I don't think that crossed his mind.
I've had 3 days vacation in 22 years. I went down to visit Sandy on a weekend. And that's all. I've been here 24 hours a day the rest of the time.
Still not my dogs. Yeah. Excellent.
Are you done?
Yeah, do you know when I hear frantic, I always worry in case there's something. So it's fine.
I know. I'm lucky I can't hear it.
You're very lucky, yes. So Goldy's farm going forward is not going to change in any way, shape or form. In fact, it's probably going to benefit from, not having distractions anywhere else.
We saw 200 and some odd people last weekend.
I know.
And I said 100, what did I say? I said 100 people a week. That was my goal. Yeah,
well, we're
exceeding that. So that would have been 5,200 people in a year. We missed that last year. We made 4,700. It was damn close.
Yeah, I think we're on target this year.
Yeah.
And I will tell you now, Janine will have said today that she's stepping down. She'll still be fiddling around somewhere. She does this. Oh, she said to me at the beginning of the year, right, what we're going to do is we're not going to bring in rescue. We're going to facilitate the rescue and the quarantine for other rescues because it takes the pressure off the animals that we have in sanctuary, and this is super. Yeah, no, that didn't work either, because all of a sudden we're like, ooh, there's a mini mule. Oh gosh, look at the state of that donkey's feet, and there's another donkey with it. So yeah, so while she's said she will withdraw from Equine Rescue Network as the front person, let's just hold our breath. Because you know how it goes.
Yeah.
She can't leave it alone. She really can't leave it alone.
No, you can't.
No, and it's actually wrong to leave it alone.
No, she watches things and she thinks.
I said
that never stops.
No, and it will stop when she dies.
Oh.
Because the brain's still going. So I think the other thing is, yes, so Sandy, I did say I was leaving too, but I will leave Equine Rescue too. And we'll go back into capacity, probably just sitting on the board. And that's a totally different experience than what we've been doing.
Yeah. That's where you apply your experience And not your 24-hour type.
Once a month.
Huh?
Once a month.
Once a month. Okay. But you're minus the 24 hours.
Yes.
You know, does that animal have water? You know, you're minus that problem.
So now we can focus on that on here.
Yeah, right.
So that's us. So we're all organised, and this is just, you know, change is positive.
What?
Change is positive. It's very
Exhilarating.
It is actually exhilarating, and there's challenges everywhere, and we rise to them. I think you can.
The unicorn.
Who can I just say? You know how there was that storm? I wonder where the blue dye is.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not going to look at the unicorn. That's more than enough excitement for one day. So, but we always rise to the challenge.
Yeah.
We come up with a solution. We're very good at it. And we've got backup plans in our backup plans because we're weird like that.
But by ourselves, we have the ability to act.
Yes.
If we see something, we can do it.
Yes.
We don't have to have a committee meeting. And this is what I found with ADI. They wanted to control everything I did. And I had no idea what I was doing anyway. You know, it just, I found it very confining to try and stick to their rules, especially when I thought their rules were wrong.
Yes.
I mean, a simple thing like the heat rises.
It does?
It does. So if you put the dogs up, 3 feet off the ground, they're going to be warmer than they would be if they're on the concrete.
Yeah.
And I could not get that message across to any of those people. That's high school physics.
Well, you know the other thing? I had a dog that had been a Great Dane that had lived on concrete floors.
Yeah.
Biggest elbows I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know, enormous.
Yeah.
And I'd spoken to the vet. I said, will these go down? And he went, yeah, when he's no longer alive. So he now sleeps in the bed, as in the person bed. No, beautiful, shapely ankles, elbows now, but it did go down. And I think you forget that, there are conditions with these long-legged, very tall, they're fragile in ways that other dogs aren't.
Right.
The conditions make such a big difference. Yeah, Nick, take the stairs. Carlene, how was your INR?
It was 3.4.
Oh.
It's supposed to be between 2 and 3. No, it was too high.
Oh, it was too high.
Yes, and the reason it was too high is I was on an antibiotic at the same time.
All right, okay.
So they had me cut back the green pill.
Oh gosh.
It's a very touchy deal. And they are diligent, and there's a whole group of them in this keeping track.
Somebody said, Nick, your favourite fluffy boy Noodles is waiting for you to come home.
Oh.
He said, and then she said, oh, and so is Elizabeth and the girls. And Nick said, and in that order too.
A big vehicle just went down back.
Did it?
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't know.
Oh, was it green?
Huh?
Was it green?
No, it's black.
Yeah, I think it's. I think I know who that is. As in Olaf.
Oh, here we are. What? 5:45. We shouldn't shut down for the night. We shouldn't have any traffic out here.
Somebody had a great idea of changing Noodle's name to Puddles. She swims.
It doesn't match our theme. Come on now. I have an awful time remembering to call her Zeddy.
Yeah. Oh dear. Sizzle is lying over there, sleeping. She's out for the count. Oh, my wee Sophie's watching. Hello, Soph. Right.
About time we shut down for the night, isn't it?
Yeah. The donate, well, how will people donate if you're separating yourself from ERN? Well, it's quite easy. We're not going to be on ERN, we're going to be on Goldy's farm. And it's sorted. Nick loves the name Puddles. Now we're stuffed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever truck went down there is still there.
It's Olaf.
No, it was a big truck.
Oh. Yeah, it is. Animal husbandry is a very difficult thing to get your head round if you haven't been stuck in the middle of it for a good number of years. It's and it is, and sometimes
it's not for beginners.
It's not for beginners, and it's not for the faint-hearted.
That's true.
It's it's
a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Labor intensive.
And you have to be on your toes all the time because you have to be one step before. And then when you're not one step before, you get a broken toe, your fingers are bent, and then you find out that when you get old, you get arthritis in those very places. Yeah. No.
I don't know how I've managed to be in the business that long without having some serious problem.
Yeah.
Like shooting somebody, you know? Oh, dear.
Oh my, that's why you're not allowed guns.
Ugh. No, I don't like guns.
Yeah, so it will all be good. It is all good. And you know, who said this?
Getting to bedtime.
No, and I suppose this is another theme that's coming up. Nobody was forced to do this, and in fact, I think you have to remember that this has been a volunteer role for a very long period of time, and you know you have to be realistic about exactly what's going on, why it's going on, and when. And there's so much going on. There's 2 organisations. Both of them take a heck of a lot of time. There's countless bits of paperwork, that have been forced upon us here, and it's one of those things. I certainly haven't been forced out of ERN. Janine's the president, I'm the CEO, and we've worked along together very nicely for a good number of years. It works. And I think the thing is the combination. I think probably the combination between Janine and I, with having very different personalities, maybe works quite, yes, just slightly, and but it works quite well in a cohesive fashion.
It does. I am only hoping that the people left in ERN will avail themselves of you and Janine's experience on making decisions.
But only once a month. Not all the time.
Well, because I think that this is one problem that Service Dog Project had. The people who took over, they wanted to take over. And they didn't know what the hell they're doing. And it's been an absolute disaster. Which is too bad. We did the good while we could do the good, and at the end we'll do something else.
Yeah, so there's some wee women on here suggesting, you see, and this is the problem. Janine wasn't forced, I wasn't forced, it's Janine's organisation. Janine can continue with that organisation. She got a clean bill of health from the State Animal Control and the Department of Agriculture. There's not really much you can say against that, because that's kind of like, top of where you go. Not only that, Channel 10 who came out, who, if they could have found anything, they would have reported on it, and they couldn't. So, nobody was forced out. Everybody has a right to behave in the way that they think is the best, and Janine thinks this is the best for her personal situation and for Goldy's. And That's the...
You know, I don't think I sat here and watched her on the computer from the rear. She is only bones and skin.
And muscle.
And muscle. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you that she has not. She has worn herself ragged over this thing, and I think she's going to do herself physical harm if she keeps going with it. It's ridiculous.
Well, I think...
She tries too hard.
Well, I think the problem is, you know, one of the things you have to... No, it's Janine and Olaf.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
You stop rumours. There was me thinking, here, you take over and I'll go and run down the hill. Thank goodness I didn't put the effort in. I think one of the things you forget is that when you've got two big organisations, and ERN isn't just, you know, we sit and fluff up horses, it's been responsible for all the other people within the network as well, to help them out as best possible. And then you've got here, and there's 3 different divisions to here. You don't actually have the time, the capacity, or the brain power and enough hours in the day to do it. And that's the bottom line. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's very difficult. It's when you give 100%, and it's actually 100% to 2 organisations, and you maintain that, you're not splitting 50% with one and 50% with the other. It's 100%. It's exhausting, and I think something has to give eventually, and you have to work out where your skills and your expertise and your capacity for doing good actually is best focused, and it's here. And this place was created very specifically. That's what we do in 8-hour trips to Pennsylvania. We phoned Carlene. She goes, "What did you say?" And we have a chat about what we're doing moving forward in the best way possible. And that's a collaboration.
I think we've worn out this topic.
No, I'm still getting questions.
Okay.
So, and that's a collaboration, and it has been very carefully crafted. It's been a long part of discussion, you know, pros, cons, etc., etc. So this is the place that has been born out of that collaboration, and it's moving forward. It's going far faster than we actually had expected. So,
certainly if somebody's going through with a horse and a trailer and needs some place to leave, they'll be in here, I'm sure.
Yeah, there'll be changes, but not that many, I would think. So, it's excellent. Now, and yes, so tomorrow we've got a really, really busy day.
I hope you're organised.
I hope we're organised too. So I think we're looking at from about 8:30 in the morning. Well, you'll be up from 4. You'll be fresh as a daisy. So we'll be good, and we'll feel. And no, Colleen, no offence taken at all. But I think that the thing is, it's good to clarify things. It's good to ask questions, and it's good to get them straightened out before we go down a rabbit hole and you go to sleep.
After a point, it gets to be boring.
And you go to sleep. You're no help.
I'm looking by my nap time.
You've had your nap time. It's dinner time. Stop it.
I need another piece of pizza.
You do. You look like you need another piece of pizza. Right. So we're all good. We're all happy, believe it or not. Apart from someone that wants her pizza.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There we go. Now I'm still going, just in case there's anything else I need to sort out. Oh no, not golf cart. Oh God. Plug in the golf cart. Thank you. Good. You remember that too, because if I have to heat your pizza, I might forget about the golf cart.
That's true.
Right, okay. So we're on it. So everybody have a wonderful weekend, because we're going to have a wonderful weekend.
Stay on the camera.
Stay on the camera. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so very much. Hold on.